Hi Stampers, this is Dawn and today we're going to make the pop-up slider card. We're using the stamp set called Let It Ride and this is the one we're going to make today. Isn't that beautiful? So let me show you a couple other ones that I made. Okay, this one is using the Bonanza Buddies with the bundle, so the dies and the stamp set for this one. Isn't that cute? This is the stamp set. And then this one we're using the Gangs All Mirror. Let me show you this one. Isn't that adorable? All right, so we're gonna go ahead and make the Let It Ride one. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so we're gonna be using the Whisper White and the Early Espresso. And these are both cut at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then for the front layer for my horse, I'm using the Whisper White and the Crumb Cake. The Whisper White piece is cut at 2 3/4 by 3 3/8, and then the Crumb Cake piece is cut at 3 by 3 5/8. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead and grab our stamp set first. We're going to use the Early Espresso, and we want to stamp on this Early Espresso piece before we actually cut it. So I'm going to be using the trees. Let me show you the stamp set. So this is the Let It Ride. We're using this set of trees here for the background of my Early Espresso piece. But we're using a lot of these images on today's card. So first we're going to go ahead and stamp the trees. Okay. Let me open up this arm. Okay, so what we're going to do first is on the 4 1/4 inch side, right there, we're going to line it up at 3 1/2. And then using our cutting arm, we're going to take our cutting blade and we're going to start cutting at 3/4 down to 4 3/4. Then you're going to do the other side the exact same way. So I'm going to flip that over 3 1/2 and cut it the exact same way. 3/4 down to 4 3/4. Okay, now we're going to take our 5 1/2 inch side across the top and we're going to line this up at 4 3/4. And then we're going to connect our two cut lines. So starting at 3/4, we're going to cut down till you feel it, or 3 1/2, I guess you could say. But I usually feel it, so I feel that cut when I'm cutting. Or I usually try to feel for that cut line. So you want that to cut. Okay, so that's going to cut your panel for that 3/4 down to 3 1/2. All right, now this is considered the bottom of our card right here where this flap is cut. So we're going to put it into the trimmer on the 5 1/2 inch side across the top. And then with the bottom section here, we're going to line this up at 1 1/4. This time we're going to score. So once again, we're keeping the score lines between the cut lines. So lining it up at 1 1/4, score between the cut lines. Then slide it down to 3, and once again, score. And then 4 3/4, score. Okay, so our score lines, this is what they should look like. So you have your 1 1/4 here. So this is going to be a valley. And then the 3 inch is going to be a mountain. And then the 4 3/4 is going to be a valley. So it should look like this. Okay. All right, let's move our trimmer. Okay, so now we're going to grab our tear and tape. We're going to flip over the card, back side. We're going to put tear and tape along that 1 1/4 inch score line, very bottom. And then we're going to add tear and tape along the two long sides and then at the very bottom. Okay, so we're going to grab our 1 1/2 inch circle punch. Now with this being the bottom, we're going to punch our slight circle punch on the top of the card. This is going to be your pull part of the card. And I'm lining it up between the cut lines. And I'm only going to punch maybe 1/4 of that circle punch. Then I'm going to take the back section, the Whisper White, line those up, and I'm going to punch that as well. Okay, so now this piece of Whisper White is the insert for the card right here. I don't know if I mentioned this at the beginning of the video, but this piece is cut at 3 by 4 3/4. So what we're going to do is I'm going to grab my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to peel off the backings of the tear and tape. So let me go ahead and do that. We're going to take this Whisper White piece, and we're going to lay this right inside of this insert here for the pull-up part of the pop-up card, and we're going to lay it right at the very bottom, centering it between the cut lines. Then seal that down to that tear and tape. And then this is what's going to move our card. Well, we don't have the back on, but yet this is what's going to move that pop-up part to the card. Okay, then we're going to take our Whisper White piece and line this up with the Early Espresso piece in the front and press that down. Now, if it hangs over, which mine does right here and right here, you can just go ahead and cut that off. So let me go ahead and do that. With it being a darker color on the front, the white really pops out. So now you can see exactly how this card is working with that insert. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and draw a pencil line. Let me grab my pencil. And I'm going to draw that little quarter circle punch out that we did, just so that it gives me a guide on where I want to not stamp. Okay, all right, now let's grab our layers. We're going to stamp our horse on this Whisper White piece. And this is the whole horse right here, so you can see that on the back. I used the Early Espresso for all my stamping today. Okay, so we're going to stamp the horse. Let me see if I can stamp this without that. So beautiful. All right, now we're going to stamp the inside of our card. I'm going to stamp the horses at the very bottom. And then this Let It Ride is going to be stamped above them. Okay, then we're going to take our horse head, pull this up just a little bit. Stamp this right over there, just like that. And then this one, it says Take Life by the Reins. We're going to stamp this either probably right up at the top here, if I can fit it in, hopefully. Okay, that's not lined up as much as my sample card. So maybe we should have stamped that. I should have maybe stamped that first, then stamped the horse head. That's all right. It's still very cute. All right, now we're going to go ahead and stamp our greeting. And I have a piece of Whisper White here. So this says, Live as if someone left the gate open. Stamping that on Whisper White. And I'm going to take my scissors again. I'm going to cut this greeting apart. Okay, so we're going to layer this onto the crumb cake. All right, now we're going to add adhesive only to the bottom section. Close up our card here. We're going to add this to that pop-up section. Right about there looks good. Yep. And then we're going to go ahead and add our greetings. This one's going to go up here at the top. And then this one's at the bottom. Right here. So pretty. Okay, one more thing. We're going to erase our pencil line. Let me go ahead and do that. This is the Whisper White, the 5/8 flax ribbon. So we're going to cut a little piece of this stapler. We're going to crisscross that. Close the card. Now, depending on right where we want it to be pulled at, we're going to put it when it's closed and then open it so I know where to staple it. Right about there. Then staple that. Just like that. So when it's closed, it doesn't interfere with the closing part of the card. Then we're going to trim that ribbon down. So the person receiving the card knows to pull it. Isn't that awesome? I love this card. All right, so let me show you the other ones again. Okay, so here's the other one, the Let It Ride. So cute. And then this is the Bonanza Buddies, the birthday one. And this one is using the Gangzel mirror. This is a celebration item that's available through March 31st. Okay, so if you have any questions, just let me know. I'll have all the items listed below. And then don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss any future videos. Okay, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you later. Bye.